starting to see the fire of God. We're seeing, like, even you were talking about the youth, we're seeing people get set on fire. But then the spirit of legalism comes and says, that's, no, that's not what you do. And so would you talk about legalism? Because we're going to have to fight that in the days coming.
Well, the best way to approach with legalism, and to make sure you're not legalistic, is just to say, how do I feel like, how would I succeed in being a follower of Christ? Would it be because I did a bunch of things right, or would it be because I rely on what he did right? So legalism says, look what you've done. Look at how you've done. You've done all these things. Or it tells you have to prove it, because until you do all of these things, every jot and tittle of the law, anytime you emphasize the law, self-performance, like do. I like to say it's not do, it's done. Jesus did it. It's done. And now you're free to do. So I get to respond to the one who loves me by loving him back. And I can best do that by loving you, by loving people. And so if I can love people well, then I can love God well. But Jesus called out the Pharisees. So we have to be able to recognize Jesus called them whitewashed sepulchres, living among the tombs, dead men's bone, brood of vipers. He had a lot of words for the religiously proud. But the bedrock for the pride of religiosity is that it earned its position, and now it demands to be worshipped, much like Jesus. So it's all rooted in pride, which is the downfall of Lucifer, hence the Antichrist spirit, right? So it's the Antichrist spirit that is the religious spirit, and you can identify it because it's always going to try to point the finger at what is wrong instead of what God did to make it right. And so when you focus on what's wrong and you don't let the problem point you to him as the solution. Remember the thing God said to me in my first book, it's not meant to be a secret. The Lord said, Nathan, bring all your problems to my table. I'll serve up solutions, and together we'll have a feast. And I recognized he was saying, if I would allow him to sort through the problems of life and work with him to do it, that he would actually give me the solutions every time I would bring him a problem, and that I could actually feast on, be sustained by, and have the provision of the power of God by receiving his solution. And so bring all your problems to my table. I'll serve up solutions, and together we'll have a feast. And I realized we're meant to share the same table. We're meant to sit with God in our place, seated in heavenly place, dining with him. He said, eat of my flesh, drink of my blood. He's saying, eat the words that I say, for I am the word who became flesh. Eat what I say, and you will be empowered, as faith comes by hearing, hearing by the word of God. And so that first book, it's not meant to be a secret. I knew the heart of God was that book would unlock people to hear the voice of God clearly and remove ear blockers and bring activators in by revelation, so that people could experience the transformation, not just the information. Because I've read a lot of books that are informative, but that's not helping. You need demonstration. And the books that talk about what people are experiencing, the personal testimony, like this is what happened. You can't even argue with that. It's like somebody's testimony. Like, this is what happened for me is a prophetic word. This is what can happen for you.